Netflix, you did it. You did it again. I gotta give you guys credit, man. I'm a huge Netflix fan. I've always liked Netflix, and I just do. And all these copy and streaming services, I'll always be sentimental to Netflix because they the one that started it all, And anyway, every now and then, Netflix can knock some stuff out of the park. You guys do know that with Stranger Things. God, I can name a lot more, but Stranger Things is the only one that comes to mind. But I can name a lot more. But anyway, Stranger Things, y'all know Stranger Things is good. They got the last episode, coming out in 2 parts, right? But so the other day, my first day on my vacation, because I've been working a lot. So I'm sitting there like, man, you know how you play a trailer on Netflix and it's like, I don't know, man, that looks pretty good. But I was like, nah, it's probably not that good. This was pretty good. It's called The Best Christmas Ever. It's an hour and 21 minutes long. A holiday travel hiccup gives a couple, Heather Graham, which I ain't seen Heather Graham in a movie in a while, as I just ain't been paying much attention, and Jason Biggs, an eye-opening look at the seemingly perfect life of an old pal, Brandy Norwood. Now, this woman's supposed to go over her sister's house, and her son, every year this woman sends out these holiday Christmas cards every year to let everybody know what they're doing and how their Christmas is and everything like that. And her friend, which is played by Heather Graham, is jealous of her because she's thinking that she's just so perfect that she just thinks that a lot of it's just smokescreen. And then she's this struggling woman that's just trying to make ends meet, and she's just not being, I just think she's just not being very thankful for what she has. So her husband's just kind of laid back, like, oh, she's probably just, she goes, I just don't think she's all like, she's trying to make like her life so perfect. So her son, these kids in this movie was so funny. They were so cute and so funny. So anyway, they both have 2 kids. So I thought. So the son, she's like, son, she goes, we're going to my sister's for Christmas. So they're going to go to their sister for Christmas. Sister happened to buy another house, and she said her sister told her this house is a lot more better than the house we had before. So they're going to travel to her sister's. So she tells the little boy, she goes, pop the coordinates in. So he had told her earlier, he goes, well, why don't we go over to your best friend's house for Christmas? It just looks so neat, where she lives. And she says no, because she goes, I don't want to go see her. She just thinks she's so perfect. So she was so jealous of her, right? So she goes, well, pop the coordinates in so we can, she tells the little boy to put get the GPS set up so they can, because they had the van all packed up, then they're going to go to the sister's, because you got to remember, the sister bought a house, so they moved, so they have to go somewhere else. It said the old place. So you got to make sure you put that together. So he goes like this, he's like, she walks away while he's popping in the coordinates. He looked down at that card. This woman sends these cards out every year. He puts in her address. So they're driving and driving and driving. It's like midnight. And she's like, I don't remember my sister telling me she lives this far out. And the husband's like, yeah, I don't remember that either. But then while they're driving, they're talking about these postcards that this woman sends out every year. And come find out, though, later on in the movie, her husband sends out postcards too. But she's so like, our life is not, she's like, she thought she never fulfilled the, reached her full potential. And then she looks at, her best friend, which is played by Brandy Norwood, like everything's so perfect. So when she goes up to this house, she goes, wow. She goes, my sister really bought a really nice house. And then her husband's like, yeah, this is really nice, man. And then the kid's like, oh, there's a real stand on top of the roof. So anyway, when they go up, they knock on the door. She goes, well, I hope she's still up at midnight. So they ring the doorbell, and it's her best friend. And she's like, and she goes, and then, she gives her a hug and everything like that. And she's like, oh, my God, my son. And his son comes behind her and says, surprise. And then, the husband's kind of like laid back. But anyway, that's how this movie's set up. But this movie is so cute. Now, you want to watch a really good Christmas movie. This movie is so good. It's so cute. It's funny. And so she tells her to go ahead and spend the night. So she spends the night, and she's like, so she goes through the house and she's looking, and the kids walk in. Oh my God, I love this house. And then she has this husband that works out and stuff, and then their life just looks so perfect. But she was like, my son's not here, you know, he's over in, her son was supposed to be over in this country helping the poor make water and stuff, but there was a catch to that. Their son ended up passing away, and she kept that a secret because they was just trying to conceal the pain so much. And so the whole time Heather's there, which is Heather, was played by Heather Graham, Heather Graham's spent the night looking around trying to see if everything that she said was fake. But so she's getting this checklist. So anyway, she wakes up the next day. She wants to leave because she's just so jealous of her friend. She doesn't dislike her friend. She just feels like she never accomplished what she was good at what she did. She just, I don't know, she just wasn't, she felt like she didn't reach her full potential. You have to watch the movie. But anyway, so she wakes up the next day and they say, hey, there's a big snowstorm. You snowed in. So when she looks out, and when she opens up the door, the snow's up to here. And he's like, you can't leave right now. So she wanted to leave. So then she had to spend another night. So that's when she got this checklist and trying to find out everything she did was a lie. And everything she said wasn't a lie. The woman was successful in everything she did. So this is how this movie opens up, and this is how this movie unfolds. But then the couple that, which is played by Norwood, they had this little girl, but the little boy that they got never showed up, because at the end of the movie, you find out he passed away. And Heather Graham's character felt bad because when she went into his room while they were away, she went in there and found out that he died. And then the mom knew that she was snooping around, but while she was snooping around, she found her snooping around because she had busted up this dollhouse. And then she says, I know you've been snooping around the last few days when you were here. She goes, I don't know why. She goes, well, it's just because your life is so perfect and everything like that. And then the husband was standing there like, yeah, he goes, let's just, you know, and then, you know, Brandy Norwood's husband was there, and they busted this house that his wife, which is played by Brandy Norwood, was working on, which belonged to his mother that passed away over in Mexico. And he said it was a beautiful home. So the house is all busted out. And then the husband's sitting there listening to Heather Graham's character say how her life was so perfect. And he's like, oh, I guess we're just nothing. And he walks out the room because he feels bad, because he just feels like, you don't appreciate me or the kids. You have to watch this movie in order to understand what I'm talking about. But Netflix really kicked butt on this one. If you guys want to watch a really good Christmas movie, I'm telling you, watch The Best Christmas Ever, because I'm not going to go into everything. But that little girl was trying to convince the boy, which is, the little girl belonged to the couple they visited, then the boy belonged to the couple that accidentally visited him, thought was, you know, and she was trying to tell him that there's no Santa. And she said Santa's made up. So she's doing all, and the little girl played, she was like so smart. And then the boy was like, I don't know, man. She goes, I'm telling you right now, there is no Santa. He's fake. You have to watch this movie. And then the other little girl, what was she doing? She did something. All the kids were good. They all had their place. But it is a very heartwarming, I guess is what I'm trying to say, movie. Heartwarming movie. And it's one of those ones where you want to sit down with the family and drink you some hot chocolate and just turn on your Christmas lights and watch a good old-fashioned Christmas movie. There is nothing in this movie at all that I'm not going to say. Use the words. None of that. You have anything. This one of those movies, they didn't do no checking the box. Make sure you put that in there, check. Make sure you say this in there, check. They didn't do any of that. God bless and take care. We'll catch you next video. Check it out.